Anna, what
Yes.
I was surprised by was that Shama Sawant didn't have kente cloth on.
Well, I mean, are you really an activist if you don't dress the part?
That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
I get
that's
that
a real question here.
Yes, I get that she's trying to like push through these moves in the city council, but I didn't see a knee. I didn't see
a knee.
I didn't see a Coming to America outfit.
Very heavy on the substance. And from what I've seen in political activism in America, you need to lessen that and focus more on like the optics, you know, the aesthetics of activism as opposed to the substance, which is what Democrats are really good at doing, by the way.
Yeah. I thought you'd be on Twitter, like monitoring who likes like Howard Stern or something. They laughed at like a joke in 2011. I thought that
right.
happens.
It's amazing. It's amazing. So like just to juxtapose what we like the super substantive and important discussion that was just taking place. You know, Democrats have decided, establishment Democrats have decided to go in a different direction. And it honestly didn't surprise me, but nonetheless, it still embarrassed me. And it was the kneeling stunt that congressional Democrats engaged in. I believe we have a quick clip showing a little bit of that, and I'm going to look away because honestly, it's so embarrassing that I don't even like watching it.
Look with me, Anna. This is a joint venture here. I'm not the only one. Right. And of course, everybody, this is the SALT segment. We might take one or two of your super chat questions after this, but this is the SALT segment. This is the Democratic leadership who have done absolutely nothing to keep people in their homes, as an example, who've done nothing systemic on policing, dressing like what their version of what they think in their heads is, I don't know, like the Howard graduation of like 1995 or something. Let's look at this together, Anna.
All right.
All right, I don't think we can take any more of this.
No.
So who? I have to say too, just on a very basic human level, like seeing like an 80-year-old trying to hold that is also super uncomfortable. So like, there's the innate like, you're seriously putting Chuck Schumer in a kente cloth, okay? And then there's like, who's gonna help all these fucking old people off of the ground?
Totally. It's just, but Michael, honestly, like really think about it. This didn't go over well. And no. I was actually happy to see that there was a consensus.
Yes.
Right. Most people found it cringeworthy, and I like that because that's where we need to be. Yes. But think about Nancy Pelosi's mentality, really. I mean, she's been rewarded over and over again for her performative politics. Like, oh, did you guys see that sarcastic clap? It was incredible. Wow, she's so strong. Did you see her rip up Trump's speech? Wow. Okay, ripping up Trump's speech does nothing. It does nothing. It's theater, and I'm not interested in it unless it's a way to push toward actual substantive change. But of course, that's not what she does. It's just like the cheap brownie points that she's been given over and over again. So of course she would think that this would go over well. And I'm happy that it didn't, because people are sick and tired of the system that we're currently operating under. We need change, and no one's buying this like kneeling stunt that they did.
No, I agree with you completely. And I mean, that's been the whole story of Nancy Pelosi is, you know, just substantive nothing or substantive harm. I mean, literally, as an example, not doing paycheck protection in their symbolic version of a bailout bill. Like the one we already know is going to get gutted in the Senate. They can't even do, let's pretend we support these things that would be popular to run on theoretically. But again, I always, the subtitle of Adolph Reed's of Class Notes is one of it is, I think, is posing as politics. And I think this is also honestly one of the reasons too, though, why I also, even people with infinitely better politics than Nancy Pelosi, why I'm just so allergic to the substituting of sloganeering and online like posturing and positionality with how do we actually do things here when we have, as an example, an extremely weak left, a decimated labor movement, and even when movements arise that are absolutely correct, and there's an enormous amount of courage and an enormous amount that could potentially flow in the right direction, they're going to get co-opted or marginalized or turned into HR politics versus economic politics versus political economy. So there is actually a way in which I think you see this, and it's disgusting and it's embarrassing, and totally it's an encouragement that most people perceived it that way. But it's also like, this has been what a lot of left and liberal politics has been for quite some time. Like, let's just do some performativity, and maybe we could do this or that, like kind of posture. And so I think we should make fun of this, and we should also use it as a through line to see how we can get out of that trap generally.
Yeah, absolutely. You're 100% right. And in terms of policy that came along with that performance, understand that what they proposed was symbolic. It's not something that they even think they could pass. It's not something that I see them fighting for. So if you're going to propose something symbolic, why not go all the way, right? Like, why not be aggressive and take a stand that demonstrates that you're genuinely different from your Republican colleagues on the issue of policing? And even then, they couldn't do it. For instance, when it came to the Pentagon shipping military-grade weaponry to local police departments, they're like, we'd like to limit it.
Yeah.
Why? What do you mean limit? What limit? Limit is not enough. What does that even mean, right?
We would like
we ban it.
We'd like to put the color scheme of the African Union on the grenade launchers that we're giving to local police departments.
Honestly, I would not put it past them.
We would like to drape the chemical weapons that police departments use on protesters with kente cloth. And
so even with the symbolism, like they can't even get the symbolism right.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, if symbolism is all they're going to do, at least try to get that right. And they can't even do that. It's just so embarrassing. And really, it goes back to, yes, you're right. I mean, the left right now, in terms of power, doesn't have much. And most of that power is really going to come from workers demanding more. I mean, think about how significantly the conversation has changed when it comes to police brutality from just a few months ago. And it's because people took to the streets. They demand change, right? It's not because AOC, says that police brutality is serious and we need to do something about it. There's some value to that, but that's not going to get it done. We need to apply pressure. Otherwise, these representatives have no interest in really representing us.
Absolutely.